It's been raining a lot and temperatures have gone up to the 50s during the day and in the 40s at night, so all of the snow is gone. Soil in the garden in this area is still frozen. Been digging around in the far end of the garden here where the sun is always hitting, and we're getting some thawing here. Soil in the raised bed in the greenhouse is completely thawed out now. Check this out. So it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got a really sunny day. It is 67 degrees Fahrenheit outside in the shade, and at the top of the greenhouse it's 103 degrees. I've been needing to do something about the entryway to my greenhouse. Last spring I just threw this flap of plastic on here, and I stapled this piece of wood at the bottom, and then I just roll it up and I stabbed a couple holes in the plastic so I can put these ties through. And then I just put some rocks down at the bottom to keep the wind from blowing it around, but still there's like gaps here. And there's just never seems to be, like, there's always more important things to do than fix it, because, you know, it works okay. But with the little greenhouse that I had years ago out at a different piece of property, it had a door in it and it was really handy. So I wanted to do that here. But after looking at the temperatures in the greenhouse yesterday, I just started thinking about a different design. Because if I'm going to get, sometimes in March, over 100 degrees in the greenhouse, and I'm wanting to start lettuce or even direct seed some spinach, that's just too hot. And you know, we're looking at maybe a week of this type of weather, which is a little unusual. I mean, March sometimes can be kind of nice, and then you get tricked into thinking spring is here, and then April's super gloomy and cold and everything grows really slow. But it is going to happen. I want to be able to open this whole thing up. So yeah, what I wanted to do was put a door in here and then put another window up here with an arm that opens up automatically, just like that one at the other end of the greenhouse. Here's a closer picture of that arm that's in the greenhouse window that's already installed. And you can also see that I had some insect netting attached in here, because I didn't you know, want pests to be getting here to the starts that I had going. But then you also can see that I've cut it out right here, and it's because I had bought such a fine mesh that it hardly let air into the greenhouse. What I need to be concerned about is the caterpillars that kind of turn into moths. I've had problems with that. And years ago in the community garden, I had some root maggot got in my kale, so that's a fly. So I need to keep those out, but the mesh doesn't need to be any smaller than that. I've decided, yeah, I need a little bit more air flowing through here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put another window up here, but then take these 2x2s and move them as far apart as I can get them, and then have a flap of insect netting on the inside, and spider, little buddy, and then a flap of plastic to seal on the outside. And I was thinking what I would do is attach it using Velcro, which I've used before, which is kind of annoying plastic stuff, but it works great. So I would attach some Velcro here on either side, and then that's how the insect netting would get attached, and then another thing of Velcro on the outside, and that's where the plastic flap would get attached on the outside. and then I could just roll it up, and I would have a better way of attaching it at the top, rather than just stabbing holes in the plastic and tying it up, and a better way of kind of keeping it pinned down at the bottom rather than rocks. Although I may not need it, it may just kind of hold it pretty close to the bottom there. So anyway, that's the plan. I've been kind of like laying awake at night making designs of greenhouses in my head, and so I think I've got that figured out. Maybe be able to sleep a little better tonight. I ordered some seeds about a week or so ago, and I just got my lettuce from Johnny's a couple days ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant one flat of those. I've been using these big cells because in the past I haven't known when I was gonna be able to plant the starts out, and so that gives me a little bit of time leeway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I used to plant seeds right into this dry soil mix, but then what I found is when I watered on the top, you know, it was so hard to wet the whole container of soil. You kind of just do the surface, and then it would also make the seeds swim around. So in the past I've just, you know, wet it from the top with a hose, you know, and just kind of kept putting water until it finally soaked the whole container of soil. But then I was thinking, gosh, it'd be so nice to be able to bottom water this thing. So I just put this whole flat in the swamp here, and we'll see how that works. Okay, a little while later, down here in the swamp, the containers for the starts are completely wet from the bottom up. Nice. I'm gonna take these sticks and label each of my lettuces so that I know which one's growing where. I've only got 4 different types of lettuce: green sweet crisp Salanova, red sweet crisp, green incised Salvanova, and a red incised. And so I'll do 2 each of these containers for each type of lettuce. Okay, I've got pelleted seed here, and so I'm gonna put 1 seed in per cell. It says 99% germination, so. Okay, so I got my seeds in here, so I'm just going to take some starter mix from over here. And it is hot as hell in here. It's 102 degrees. I should have been doing this outside. Okay. First seeds of the season planted, Salanova lettuce on March 19th. It's March 21st, 1:45 in the afternoon, 57 degrees Fahrenheit outside and 82 degrees Fahrenheit in the greenhouse. We're getting record temperatures here in Southeast Alaska for this time of year, and I guess that's the same of probably Maine, Alaska, and I heard in Canada and also like Washington State. So it's weird to think that I'm sitting here worried about like it's too hot in my greenhouse in March, but it does kind of force me to work on ventilation and entrance to the greenhouse sooner than later. This morning I spent some time ordering, let's see, I got an arm for a second window at the other end of the greenhouse that automatically opens when it gets hot inside. I also got the Velcro. It's a sticky backed Velcro that you can stick onto surfaces, and then it's got the hook and loop that comes apart. I may find that that's not gonna work for me. I'm gonna want, like, I really want a real door, but I'm gonna start with that. I also looked at insect netting to try and get a larger size mesh, and I did find that, but the one place I was trying to order, the shipping costs were like, so this is less than $100 order, and the shipping costs were $100, and so I didn't do that. That's something that we run into a lot up here, is sometimes shipping costs are more than the cost of the item. So I'm just gonna have to look around and see if I can't find some sort of free shipping thing or something. I also thought about, you know, maybe since now I'm gonna have these way bigger openings, that I can use the insect netting that I have that has the really fine mesh, because there'll be more air transferring, just, you know, the larger opening. So I may try that. And then I just have to hit the 2x2s, but I can just do that at the hardware store. We're also going to get some wood then also to do that raised bed out here in the garden, and move the greenhouse over there on top of that after I transfer the soil. So that's kind of cool. I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed with things being so nice this soon, that I've got all these things that I have to do. So I'm kind of trying to pace myself. I made a list of things that I need to do, so just prioritize so that I don't get kind of overwhelmed and scattered doing, you know, just multiple different things. So it says order greenhouse parts and patch holes. So last season when we put the shrink wrap on, it was late at night, you couldn't see very well, and so it got a little bit too tight, and so I patched a couple holes last season, and I saw I've got another one coming in, so I need to patch that, and I think I still have some of that patch material. And then I also ordered most of the greenhouse parts. I just need to get after that insect netting. And then it says order plastic hose. You know, with this droughtiness going on, I'm a little bit concerned that they're going to move us to more like a stage 2 or stage 3 water watch, where we can't use water to, you know, like water lawns and things like that, or water gardens. So I need to, I think about that creek sooner than later, getting that water from the creek. So I put down order a hard plastic hose. Seaweed on the garden. I actually started that yesterday. Just wanted to dig into it and kind of to see what it looked like, and started throwing it out on the garden, and I'll probably talk about that next week. Continue to make start soil. I've got 3 batches already, and I can't even go in that greenhouse during the day. It's just too miserable. So I kind of do it when the sun goes down. Work outside. That's why I've been playing with the seaweed, and then go inside and make soil for starts, because I need to get that material off that raised bed in there so I can move the soil out to the garden. Build raised bed and fill, then move greenhouse. Yes. Plant seed starts. I got my seeds from Johnny's. I planted a little bit of lettuce. I'm still waiting for my seeds from Territorial. It's been into week 2. That's also something that happens when you live all the way up here. Shipping is slow. Clear brush for construction. I need to still clear that brush over there. And what's kind of cool, because, you know, we're going to move all this gravel under here and spread it out and put more soil on it. That's probably not going to happen for a month or something, but I need to get on it, because, like, wow, we've got this great dry weather to do that. And screw in fence posts. So put screws in the fence posts. So I want to put the deer fence netting up around the garden again, but this time, instead of like stapling it on, I want to put 3 screws into these little fence posts so that I can just hook the fence on, and that works really great. So anyway, I just wanted to put those few things down so that I can kind of focus my energy in a certain area and not get too scattered and not feel overwhelmed, like, oh, all of the things that I need to get done. I've just got a lot to do here on this whole site, and it's just going to take a number of years to get it done. The mother load. Just got my seeds from Territorial Seed Company. It took 10 days, and the lettuce seeds from Johnny's took only 5. So now I'm going to decide what I'm going to do, how I'm going to plant these when the ground is still frozen out there and the greenhouse is burning up.